Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Outlaw back here on Live to Thrill. Live to Thrill TV. And this is Fish Tales, my Alaskan fishing story. Basically, the way this is gonna go is if you haven't seen last year's Fish Tales yet, I want you to go check out that one before you watch this one for sure. I'll put the link somewhere over here and you can go check it out. That was last year's 2011 season. And this is 2012. So we're going to get right into it. I'm going to tell the story, tell the adventure of what I did out there in Alaska. And we're going to get right into it. Basically the way it's going to go is I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to tell some stories, tell in the order of what happened. And throughout the video, I'm going to just put clips in between me talking in chronological order, of course, and you guys can check out what I did and stuff like that, because I got some pretty cool footage. May 21st, 2012, I arrived in Port Moller, Alaska to start my Alaskan fishing journey again. Probably none of you have heard of Port Moller. It's off the Aleutian Islands, the tail of Alaska there. Port Moller is basically, the only thing in Port Moller is pretty much Peter Pan Seafoods, which is the seafood company cannery that all of us fishermen get our paychecks from. So that's pretty much the only thing on Port Moller. I'll put a couple pictures, and stuff like that. You can see what Port Moller is, but it's pretty crazy. Landing in Port Moller, you're on a tiny little plane. You come in there, and there's nothing except the sea and like a little cannery, and it's pretty nuts, being there. You're like, holy crap, I'm gonna spend my whole summer here. It's pretty nuts. And so we get to Port Moller. Basically, I get there on the 21st. Midday, so and we just start working right away. That's a boat. There's a boat. And that's the cannery, the processor. This is Port Moller, Alaska. Port Moller. Basically, I go and I see the boat for the first time. I was in the fishing vessel Vicky J. And I see the boat for the first time. It's on the boat pad, which is on land. Of course, you can't leave the boats in the water, in Alaska when you're not fishing. They'll get frozen right in. So what happens is we start working right away, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool, and I find out that we're probably going to be working for the next 10 to 14 days, about 2 weeks. We're going to be working just in Port Moller, not even, going out to sea, being in the water at all. So I'm like, okay, 2 weeks, that ain't bad. But holy crap, did that feel like the longest 2 weeks of my life. I think we spent like 10 to 12 days just on land, working on the boat, maintaining the boat, getting the motor ready, painting everything, painting the hydraulics, scrubbing the boat, just getting everything ready we need to. And it took about 2 weeks. And finally, after the 2 weeks was done, I learned so much about how to, if you guys don't notice, on the boats that we use diesel motors, and they're marine diesel. We had a Volvo Penta in ours. So we had a Volvo diesel motor, which probably you guys are like, Volvo diesel, what the hell? Yeah, in our boat we had a Volvo diesel. A lot of boats had Volvos, some had John Deeres, some had Cats, shit like that. So it's pretty cool. So I learned a lot about, learning how to work on those, and maintaining them pretty much. After, I think the season was going to start. Now, last year I did set netting, which is, you just do skiffs and you're on the beach, or you're doing it right off the beach. This time I was on a drifter boat, which is gill net, and you got the gill net drum in the back and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, you'll see some footage of that later. But so it came to the day where we were going to get dropped in the water. And they take this big boat lift, and they basically bring you into the water. They set you down, you drive over, you tie up to the dock and all that kind of crap. So we did that, and then we spent another day or two just on the dock, you know, making sure it runs, making sure everything's, you know, seaworthy, so nothing gets fucked up when we're out there fishing, you know, because we're out there for a long time. We don't come back into port, you know. So I think the season officially started like the 7th of June or something like that. I think it was like June 7th was the very first day of fishing. So we actually, now the season opened on the south side, which is False Pass, Alaska. That's where we went first. We basically left like a few days early, and we took I think it was an 18-hour ride down there. So we were taking, you know, me and my captain were taking, basically it was just me and my captain. There was nobody else. We didn't have anybody else on the boat. It was just me. I was the deckhand. He was the captain. So I did everything myself. All the other boats, they had 2 or 3 guys working, but it was just me. So we go down to False Pass. We get down there a few days early. We get to the marina, False Pass Marina, and we just basically sit around, you know, getting stuff done with the net. I think we went out and set the net, get the net wet, because when the net's dry on the drum, it's a lot looser than, you know, and it flaps around a lot. But when it's wet, it comes back in a lot tighter, and it's better for it to be wet. So we went out and did that. We got that back, and basically we were just waiting for the season to start. And when it was time for the season to start, we went out there, and it was time to battle them salmon. Yellow. It is the Outlaw coming to you live from False Pass, Alaska. Let me give you a look around at this place. I mean, as you can see behind me, it's like, whoa. And all these damn crab pots everywhere. Look at this shit. There's crab pots everywhere around here. Crab pots over there. Crab pots. This thing goes down for a while. Crab pots all over the place. That goes down all the way back into there. It's very cool. I mean, just look at this. Bering Sea, baby. Bering Sea, False Pass, Alaska. I'm here on an adventure, the fishing adventure of a lifetime, commercially. Badass. So at this point, we go out and the night before the first day, we went to a place called Dora Harbor, which is about 2 hours away from False Pass Marina. We got down there to Dora Harbor, and we just anchored up there in Dora Harbor. Dead whale, right there.
Maybe he's just running because he's young.
Yeah. He doesn't know what to do. Or maybe our ugly asses are just scaring him away. Fishing opened at basically they would open fishing for like 4 days at a time, and I think it was 3 or 4 days at a time. Yeah, 4 days at a time they would open it. So it would open at like 7 in the morning, and then it would close 4 days later at 10 at night. So you would fish for 4 days straight, just doing that, and grind those 4 days, and then you'd come back in, and then you'd get like 18 hours off, and then you go do it again. So we started fishing, and that was it. Basically in the history books, I think from the day we started on June 7th, we fished straight for a month. We didn't go back into port, we didn't do nothing, we just fished straight for like a whole month, and going to different places. We didn't just stay in False Pass. The False Pass season closed at the end of July. And then that's when you go up north to like Bear River or Illinois, which is where we went. We went to Illinois, and there's like the lines and stuff, and we started fishing there. And I think I remember the best days we caught fish. Now this is a cool little story. I think it was mid-July. Before we went up north, we were in the False Pass area, and nobody was catching nothing. There was whales all over the place. People were getting whales in their net every day, just ripping them to shreds. And, because there's so many whales there. I think I've got some footage of some whales, but there's so many whales, and they're just, you put these whale pingers on your net so they don't get in, but they still come in. They're all over the place. So instead of getting whaled out, my captain and I made the decision to go down to, what's it called? Lazarus? Where did we go? I think we went down to Lazarus. Or no, we went down to Lutke, or whatever you call yeah, we went down to Lutke. That's where we went. So we went down to this place called Lutke, and holy crap. There was a few other boats that went down with us, and they fished for a day, and they didn't catch shit, and they went back up to False Pass. So we were there by like ourselves, and we're like, what the hell? We're here by ourselves, and we set out like 3 times in one day, and we were just catching fish like crazy. We were by ourselves, and we're like, why isn't there anybody else over here? And I think we fished that for 3 days straight, and we were catching that's where we caught most of our fish, and we did really good that whole opener. And I think the last day, it was really windy. We couldn't even set, like it was just blowing the net all over the place, and I think we backlashed like 5 times. It was ridiculous. And we go around the corner, and it's like Hawaii. It's like, and that's where all the boats were, and they weren't catching anything. So I guess, we were toughing it out in the bad weather, but when you go right around the corner, the big rocks and stuff and the mountains, that's where everybody was, and it was like Hawaii. It was so nice. But nobody was really catching fish over there, so we did pretty good, and I was pretty proud of that.
Yeah, they dancing while intoxicated.
to a high to a lower mesh count, I think what it was, and I think we went from a 90 to a 60 mesh or a 70 mesh, I think, which is a lot shorter net, and there's not as many meshes. So we switched the net because, you know, north side you need that rather than from going from south side. So we put the new net on the drum and went back out to Ilnik. I think we were in Ilnik for 2 weeks, and we weren't catching really much. We just weren't doing too good at all. I think it was 2 weeks of just, you know, scraping by.
Unless I can flap away.
Look at him go. Bird Island. Oh yeah, there he is. Sitting, floating right on the whale on the water. He's moving all around too.
He's eating, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he's eating.
Oh yeah, he's just ripping it apart.
Oh yeah, too. Oh.
Oh man. He's falling all over the place. That out there's my boat. That's the Vicky J right there. The Vicky J, that's my boat. Bronco boat. We got shut down because of weather. The weather was horrible and there was no fish. People were actually going out and catching dogs, which is a type of salmon that nobody really likes eating. So you don't get very much money for it, but people were just going out and, you know, catching dogs instead of reds because there's no sockeye or no reds around. So I think we fished for another week, and that was it. We went back into Port Muller to switch nets again, and then I think we were going to be in Muller for another like 4 or 5 days because the weather was so bad and it was unfishable, and all the fishing was closed. So we were taking like a 4 or 5 days off, you know, because we couldn't fish, and that's when we decided we're going home. So the season really ends, I think, September 15th, which is just a couple days ago. That's when the season's supposed to be done. Nobody really ever fishes all the way to the 15th of September. Usually, you know, it's end of August and stuff like that. So we fished basically, I was there for basically 2 months. We basically fished for 2 months. And then that was it. So it was a pretty short season, 2 months. I mean, 2 months is, you know, not short by any means, you know, being out there for that long. But we just called it quits. There was not really any fish. And luckily, talking to my captain, I think about a week ago, nobody else who actually stuck around really caught much else. So it was kind of a good call that we made, and by going home and not having to stick it out and stuff like that. So we ended up, it took about I think 4 or 5 days to get everything back. You gotta pull the boat back up, put it back on the boat pad, and you gotta make sure you winterize everything, make sure everything's good, and all that stuff. So you just you get everything done, you make sure it's all good, and it's time to go home. And you get on the plane, you take like 20 flights all the way to get home. So it's pretty crazy. Crazy experience. It was freaking awesome, and I hope you guys enjoyed all the clips I put in, enjoyed the story. But that's about it, y'all. I hope you all enjoyed this Alaska Fishtails video, and I really enjoyed doing these. Last year's was fun and putting it together, reliving the moments, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure if you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up, a like, add it to your favorites, comment, leave me a comment. I want to, leave me a comment. I really want to hear you guys' feedback of, what you guys think and stuff like that. So it's a crazy experience. I'll remember this for the rest of my life, and it's nice having these videos, putting these videos out, because then it helps me remember everything. Bering Sea Fisherman 2012, baby. Ain't nothing but a Bering Sea badass. Later!